bit, a little bit of just letdown before all the hype begins.
I think we're going to have the 10 arrows.
Ooh, 10 arrows. That might actually be worse than the 20.
Oh, it's a piece of heart.
Oh, my,
So we are underway with a piece of heart in that very first chest. And we'll get these guys caught up in just a moment on the resync here as Link turns around. This is the escape portion of this. We've seen this now 170 times. There's nothing that changes in this thing. We do know that Darko is very, very efficient. So too is Elminster when it comes to the escape that you can post. Very good times coming out of the escape, even sub-6s.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to see sub-6s, although lately with the, trying to get bombs early to get that bomb room, sometimes right around 6 isn't uncommon, and we have 300 rupees.
Well, that's going to make rupee farming a little less of a urgent need for these guys. I know one of these competitors was talking about maybe doing the the Hooligan room?
Yeah, the Chris Houlihan room.
But that's not apparently going to be quite as necessary when you get 300 rupees in the second chest.
Yeah, although something like that could be pointing towards Zora having something, something nice for these runners.
We won't know that for certain unless these guys get the flippers or a glove or the bit that pushes them in that direction.
All right, all 3 runners heading down to the basement.
And again, this is pretty much standard fare. We've been through this enough times. There's your red rupee, by the way.
There's the red rupee. All 3 runners with a very nice, spin/kill on the blue guard there.
So once again, we now get on over towards the next chest, find out what's inside of it. We know there's going to be a keen one coming real soon in one of the next 3 chests. These guys will come across. We also know a map is somewhere up for bids, too.
Ooh, we get a bomb for Darko, but not for the other. Oh,
no, Elminster got the bomb.
Fcoughlin.
Yeah, Elminster got the bomb. Darko got the bomb, and Fred was hung up dry, and he ended up picking up the map as well.
So hopefully Fred decides to hit a few more guards on the way. Now that he doesn't know, but we know that the green guards do have bombs in their item pool.
Oh, we're going to see how he attacks this next guard coming up here. Doesn't get the bomb drop. Has got to have to watch out health-wise, but he does pick up a heart out of the pot here and just starts to slash at the ball and chain guy. And we find the dungeon's key is in the chest today next to Zelda. Now, here's a question for you. Couldn't she just grab that key and try to escape on her own?
Right. I mean, I don't know what she's thinking other than, I'm a princess. I'm going to sit here and, wait for somebody to come rescue me. Because clearly that's what's going through her mind.
Maybe she can pick the lock.
Man, somebody in chat, we need progressive rupees. Can't get red rupee before you get all the single ones.
Well, we could get the single rupee. And could we do the same thing with the arrow? Get the single arrow out of the way now?
Oh, and we're being told, Rick, that your theory does not hold out because she needs the big key to escape.
She could at least try to pick the lock with the small key. I mean, geez, she should at least attempt it.
Holly Ingrid 6, this is not version 9, this is still version 8. The tournament will continue running on version 8 until all remaining runners agree to switch to the new logic.
I don't care how keys work and how locks work. This is my theory, and I'm going to stick to it.
Alright, all 3 players heading to the sewers.
And once again, the sewers are about the same thing, except for Fred. Oh, Fred does have a bomb now, by the way.
Oh, good. So all 3 players will be checking the escape room. Fred killing some of these snakes, hoping for some additional bomb drops. Doesn't get any.
Elminster first to the chest to get the 20 rupees, so he'll likely be the first one to get to the 3 chests coming out of here. I know Elminster's been practicing a lot on the 100% category of no major glitches, so he's got some good times he's getting in this game, so he definitely knows his stuff, especially with the escape.
Yeah. I've actually never run Link to the Past other than Randomizer.
Same here, and maybe I might try later on. A Piece of Heart, we've got some arrow increases, and 20 rupees. Escape, rather fruitless today.
Yeah. Kind of unfortunate.
And we've already got the pair puns in chat, including 100%. Maybe we'll have a Pedestal seed tonight.
Ooh, Pedestal. Looks like we have about all 3 runners heading out to Cathedral. Elminster getting there first, and he finds himself with a small shield.
Progressive shields, progressive swords. And eventually on all 3 of these signs, we will see what dungeons we've got coming up in the course of this. And Darko skipping over the chest.
Very interesting. Perhaps
now,
he forgot that he got... I think he might have forgotten that he got the map.
Yeah. Now, if that turned out to be a case where... there was something acquired in there, well, different story, but... It's just a fighter shield. He's not going to miss it.
Elminster going back for a second tree pool and finding full magic.
So we have arrows and then magic. Fred, first one to the Lost Woods. He's not checking Lumberjack Cave. Elminster's going to be the first one to check that for us. And we find that this is a half magic seed. So if you want half magic this seed, you got to kill Agahnim. But it's not required.
All 3 of these runners are pretty seasoned. I highly doubt that we see any of them kill Agahnim. But, I mean, you never know. It could happen. It's only really a quality of life pickup at that point. And we see 20 rupees all over the place in this seed.
Yeah, we're getting that right all the way. And we know, by the way, that half magic being there, that they're not going to get any magic upgrades if that's the case, if they decide not to kill Agahnim, because we know the quarter or the half, you don't get both. It's either or, and it's a 1-3 chance that it's a quarter magic in this game. So Fred first to thieves. We find the bottle, so there's going to be no backtracking to the sick kid this seed.
We got a B. I mean, I prefer to call him the dying kid because, I mean, clearly he's dying. And Fred does find some more bombs, so bombs are not going to be an issue in Kakariko.
And he finds the 20 rupee on here. Now, Fred is going to be the case where he might feel he's got to take some risks in this seed, because he might think that he's got a rough draw here against Elminster and Darko.
And, you know, this isn't to say anything bad about Fred, because I've seen his races. He's definitely a very good runner, but if I were in his shoes, I'd probably be in the same boat. I'd be looking to take some risks where I can. You know, very, very smart risks. I wouldn't go for anything too crazy, but, you know, we have a shovel. We do have a shovel. But yeah, I think I would take some slight risks just to try to get that little edge over my opponents here.
Now, so far, that's the only progressive item we have seen. We've got a boomerang for 100 rupees.
And now we see Fred heading into the chicken house. Let's see if he throws one through the wall. Oh, and he misses the throw.
He was wide right of the throw. And bombs for bombs.
Not a terrible pickup here, because early in the game, there's a lot of places you can go where you need bombs, and last thing you want to do is run out.
None of these runners have checked the map yet, so we don't know what dungeons we need. Here comes the sick kid. The sick kid progression yields a heart container. Not really what Fred wanted to see, but he'll welcome the extra life.
As I say, this early in the run, a little extra life is not a terrible thing to receive.
Darko got the chicken through the wall.
Yeah, he did. And I missed what was in the tavern.
I wasn't paying attention.
Looks like Darko will be headed there shortly.
So
oh no, actually, Elminster's heading there now.
And we find a green rupee, and it was only 10 arrows.
Yeah.
In the tavern, we find a green rupee. In the library, none of these guys are going to be going to pick that up. Let's see what the race game yields this time around, and that's just a piece of love here. And Fred with the shovel won't save and quit just yet. He's going to go check to see what this is over at the Haunted Grove. So far, nothing that pushes the seed really that far ahead. So let's see what the shovel yields. Is this a progression item?
Yeah, and in this logic, if you get a progression item, you almost want to beeline towards
Magic Cape.
And that Magic Cape might actually indicate that even though we think he's not required, Agahnim could be required this seed.
Well, right now Fred's going to go ahead and check the South Shore stuff. So the question is, do you go Agahnim after this if you come up empty?
And looks like he might be skipping the dam.
Well, if there's something good there, he might be going, damn it.
Let's see if there's any foreheads in chat here. Nothing yet. I for one enjoyed that little pun, that little joke.
People are cursing at me for that pun.
Look, I make puns and jokes like that all the time to my students, so I can't fault you. I enjoyed it. And we have a 5 arrow capacity. We have a B. We have some rupees. We have a bomb upgrade, and we have more rupees. Nothing great out of the generous guy's cave.
This seed so far has been screaming a trip to Zora as well.
And that chest inside was just a 20 rupee.
And outside we find
another 20 rupee. And Elminster's going for it because it gets him to that 500 threshold.
Yeah, little does he know there's enough rupees to carry him over further ahead inside the next stop for him. Now Fred is opting to check the Ice Rod Cave because he hasn't found anything to move this seed along except for the Magic Cape. So the question is Magic Cape going to yield a trip to Agahnim to move this story along?
And you know what? I don't dislike this this move at all.
Blue mail.
Tunic. Yeah, blue mail. I usually opt to check the Ice Rod Cave after checking the Generous Guide, just because it's there. It's, you know, if you go to check it later, you're just going out of your way again. So I'd rather go out of my way early
Fred's
when I'm
going Aga
progression items, and it does look like Fred is going Agahnim.
Yeah, Fred's going Agahnim. He's just trying to figure out what this logic's telling him to do. It looks like he's thinking about it, and has opted not to.
He might be going to check Sarashula first. No, he's going down to check the dam.
Oh, yes, that's right. He hasn't checked the dam just yet, and it does look like Elminster's trying to set up fake flippers. Oh, that's right. Fred needs magic. That's what's stopping him from doing this.
Oh, yeah, he can't go to Agahnim without magic. And at this point, I don't know where he's going to find it.
Elminster finally pulling off the fake flippers. It looks like Darko's about to be ready to pick up a blue mail from a particular cave.
And on the island, we spy... Oh, I didn't quite catch what that was.
Oh, Elminster's not checking Hobo. He's going to Zora.
Interesting choice. Ooh,
and he dies before he gets out of the water.
Ooh,
that is a
rough for Elminster.
That's a consequence of being fake flippers. If you get hit by anything, you are automatically dead.
Now, while that does set him back a little bit, the fortunate thing is that while it is a time loss, it's not. It could be a lot worse.
Right, he's going after a sequence break at this time because you're not meant to be up at Zoras.
And it looks like Darko gets fake flippers. He's going for the same route, although we may see him go to Hobo instead.
Yep, and we're gonna see where Fred goes.
Fred also fake flippers.
Ooh, Master Sword is what's on the highly alleged.
Okay.
And both of these guys are going to go ahead and check to see what the Hobo has to offer. And I missed to see what was in the Sarashala's hut.
We did find
here.
mushroom and blue cane.
Well, that mushroom could be interesting, and we're going to find out what the Hobo has. Darko's on
Hobo
first.
has boots.
Well, there's your sequence break.
And Elminster, now he was going for Zoras, so it wouldn't have been as bad, but Elminster now just in a really rough spot without the boots unless he goes and it goes for fake flippers again, which it does not look like he's going to. It looks like he's going to go turn in mushroom.
I think Fred's going to check the dash cave. Elminster's going to check the... Fred's checking Dash Cave. Elminster's checking to see what that mushroom yields. And it's a heart container in the Dash Cave.
Heart container in Dash Cave.
And remember, Fred's at a piece of this logic he's not supposed to be at this moment.
Correct. So... he might have a tough time finding some more progression items, him and Darko. Well, not a tough time, but, they still could be missing something very key to help them move along.
Yeah, you're right. We have yet to see anything go on here, and there's the possibility that we might have to go over to South Shore, to Agahnim to find out what's going on. But Elminster now has the idea, and we finally get a map update here from Fred. It looks like Desert and Tower of Hera, or Crystals, and Desert, or rather Eastern Palace, is for a pendant.
That came and went so fast that I somehow missed it.
And the big key pickup here for Darko. Fred's about to check Sarashala's hut. Elminster's off to Aga 1. 3 completely different routes right at this moment.
My guess with the way the seed has progressed is that Pyramid might hold flippers.
That's a possibility.
To push the runners towards the boots.
I'm wondering what Agahnim has, 'cause that's a
rupee.
possibility.
Yeah, Agahnim might have something for these runners.
Yeah, the problem is with regards to doing the Aghanim's Tower here, this is about a 5-minute sink if it turns out to be absolutely nothing that's avoidable.
Yeah, and without the boots, he's walking through this whole place.
And Fred turning in the mushroom. He's going to find the piece of heart. The next question is will he go after Aga 1? I know he's made some references before about possibly making that chance to go to Agahnim 1. I think at this point he's trying to outwit his opponents, try to figure out what they are doing that he could use to take advantage.
So we already have confirmation that 2 of the chests in Eastern Palace are just rupees. Darko heading to the big key chest to see if he can find something useful.
Now Fred's making the push right again for Agahnim. He's going to have to get some magic at some point in time to break down the barrier.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what he's doing here. I don't think he realizes that he doesn't have any magic.
Well, he's going to have that kind of alertness coming up in just a moment.
They're telling us that
he's got a blue potion.
He bought a blue potion. I just saw that in
chat.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, that's a wise idea when you're turning in the mushroom. I didn't even see him do that.
Yeah, with these three-way races, it's hard to see everything that happens between the runners.
I'm going to point this out here, that it's a good decision here by Elminster to use the cave to get past this room. These guys can bop you for a heart apiece here, and, well, you don't want to have that happen when you've got green tunic. Now, Fred's got blue, so that means he is going to have a half damage advantage over what Elminster's dealing with.
Right. And we actually saw Fred use the good bee in that first opening room to help him kill the two guards.
Elminster's got to be careful, and he's going to take it easy through here now because he's down to a heart. Now, Agahnim is not that difficult, but if you try to get a little greedy and are a little too close to his hitbox,
we might see Elminster.
You might be spinning in a circle.
We might see Elminster just go a little conservative with this fight. You know, he might place his character sprite just a little out of reach, just so that does not happen.
And Darko picking up the piece of heart. He's going to save it quid. Now, will he make the push for Agahnim as well?
And it does look like Elminster is positioning himself a little bit further from Agahnim than you normally would, just to be safe.
Agahnim almost deciding to give him a hug. Darko's going to check Agahnim.
Not a terrible play, because if you can avoid Agahnim, you really should. It's just such a time sink, like you said, about 5 minutes. And we've seen races that have been decided by less than 1 minute.
Well, we're gonna see what's on the pyramid ledge, and there's the Titan's Glove.
That's the mitts.
If this is the book, this is progression.
And even if it's not the book, Darko just now has some very key information that neither of the other players have.
It's the book!
The book is on the pyramid.
So this is progression. This is the way the game wanted you to do it.
Yeah, and it does
and
look
Darko's
like
coming to that realization now.
Is required.
So the progression was you have to take the book to get on over to the Titan's Glove. Now, what we could find in the pyramid could move this along even more. And Elminster quickly checking his map, that confirms to us what we said earlier.
Now, it'll be interesting to see, since Agahnim is required in this seed, as far as we know, whether or not any of these runners will go for the half magic. Because they already have Agahnim cleared. Is it worth, like, to any of these runners, is it worth taking the little bit out of their time, like, go a little bit out of their way to get that nice little safety bet, like that little safety net?
Look what Darko's doing.
Darko is heading to Zora.
And remember, this is not a progression here. This is a sequence break at this point, because you're not supposed to you're not supposed to, by the bounds of the logic, fake flipper to move the seat along.
Yeah, we'll see what he gets here.
So Zora's Domain was worth 500 rupees this time around. It is, the Power Glove.
Now that could work out against Darko very much here.
So you know what that means?
Because he's going everywhere but Agahnim right now.
You know what that means? Unless we found flippers in the Desert Palace, the progression was for these guys to get the Titan's Mid all along. Now with this, that means Darko's going to check the 2 items on Death Mountain now.
Yeah, he's going to check Death Mountain, and that could be setting him back quite a bit now.
That depends on what these 2 items are. What does the old man have? What's inside Spectacle Right? Those are his only 2 choices right now without the hook shot.
Yeah, and he better hope that one of these items is the hook shot.
Fred's going to get the half magic.
He is. And I don't blame him at all. And there's the
the
hook
hook
shot. Okay, so Darko does have hook shot.
So Darko Seekwood's breaking himself to now being able to check 7 more chests.
It's going to take a lot for this to work out in his favor, though.
Elminster ended up falling down. We found the lamp in Spectacle Rock.
And Darko going for that, he says, I'd rather just have that than try to do dark rooms, and I do not blame him whatsoever.
But you know what this means, though? When he comes across Desert Palace, he's going to be able to beat it now.
Yeah, he can clear it. It's going to be a while before he can get there, though.
Yep. Because he's going to have to get to the Pyramid Ledge at some point in time. And right now, it looks like the way this sieg's working out, they have to go grab that Titan's Glove and then make the way that Darko's going via Death Mountain. So Darko's going to be able to clear off the Desert Palace in one shot when he gets around to it. He's not going to have to leave and come back later, because the way this logic is progressing for these guys, they would have had to come back later with a lamp that they could get only by getting the Titan's Mitt here on the ledge.
Yeah, I still think I think Darko is a little behind the other runners right now. Although it's tough to say for sure.
That depends on what he gets to these 7 chests.
That's true. That's true. We'll see what happens here. He
Mirror.
does get the mirror.
That gets him up to Hera. And Hera's now beatable for him.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see him do Hera first, I'm sure. Because you're up here on Death Mountain. You want every excuse to not have to come back here.
We find rupees, rupees, rupees.
So
money,
many rupees.
money.
Heart and a heart piece.
Well, that was a lame 5 hearts, 5 chests right there.
We don't see Darko go for the bomb jump there.
Could he be going for fake for the Super Bunny?
No.
No,
Well,
he's
first
not.
of all, Darko does not have the Titan's mitts.
Oh, right. You are correct. Elminster's about to grab this old man and take him up and get his hook shot. Fred is a little bit away from being able to do the same. Now, Elminster, once he gets this lamp, knows that he'll be able to go back to Desert when he finally is able to do so and beat that dungeon. There's one more item from my count that's still up in there. A piece of heart was one of...
Uh-oh, did we lose Rick? Uh-oh, we may have lost Rick. Sounds like he cut out mid-sentence and isn't back yet. R.I.P. Rick. Get your Bible thumps in chat. Now, meanwhile, we do see Fred heading towards the Titan's Mitts, Elminster. Heading up Death Mountain, he's going to head towards the Spiral Cave after checking the island. Darko heading towards the Tower of Hera.
I love this sympathy for you guys.
And in that first chest, Darko does find the map. Looks like Fred is heading down towards the King's Tomb.
Did Darko check this chest here, the spiral?
He did. And Fred finding the Moon Pearl. Chat is saying that Rick is a ghost now. And I did just see Rick left the voice channel, so he must be having some technical difficulties, so bear with me here as I try to solo commentate on three streams. We do see Darko going for... Oh, he's just going to hook shot across. Fred's now going to find himself the hook shot here in just a moment. Elminster taking an unfortunate death in Eastern Death Mountain. Darko heading up to Modorm. Will soon find himself with his first crystal. And Darko with a very nice Modorm fight. Looks like Rick has returned.
I think I have. How do I sound now?
Welcome back. Chat got very worried about you and your disappearance.
Can't keep me down for too long.
We do see Darko with his first crystal. Not getting too much out of Tower of Hera, though. And Fred getting his lamp.
You know what I'm thinking here?
What's that?
He's gonna go downstairs and double check on this, but I almost think at this point a trip to visit the wizard is imminent here for Darko.
Yeah.
He can't. It doesn't look like in this case, and unless this turns out to be something big for him, that there's no way he can sequence break this.
Yeah, I don't think there is a way for him. Now, I actually do not... let me start over. I actually very much agree with Darko's decision here. I have been, small sample size, but I've been burned way too many times by not going back in and checking the basement when I know it holds an item.
Yeah, you want to check this. You can't leave it behind, because what if there's something here? What if this turns out to be the Moon Pearl? What if this turns out to be the hammer? What if it turns out to be 10 arrows? But guess what? I think Darko has now to go visit the wizard.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a choice left here.
And he's off to see the wizard, the wonderful wizard of Hyrule.
I like it. And we do have a super bunny here from Elminster.
Here we go. Super bunny. Piece of heart. And a red rupee.
Oh.
Unfortunately, for Elminster, Super Bunny doesn't yield anything big for him, but maybe he can find out what he needs when he gets to Turtle Rock, if it ever is required. And we find out that Turtle Rock is indeed a crystal. It looks like Misery Mire turned out to be a pendant to seed.
Yep, and so did Palace of Darkness, is the green pendant.
Oh, the Palace of Darkness is green. That's interesting. Have we caught what dungeons are 5 and 6 right now?
6 is Hera. I did not catch which one was 5.
Well, our guys will help ourselves out. So now Flu is going to be required. Well, it was Meyer was pedestal was pendant, correct?
You just said it, and I'm already forgetting.
Well, we know Palace of Darkness ended up being a pendant. So if Misery Mire turns up to be...
Mire was pendant, so...
That means, unfortunately for us hopes and dreamers here, the bow, the hammer, the cane of Samaria, the flute, they cannot be in the pedestal. Okay, let's back up for just a second. When did Fred get the Moon Pearl?
I think it was right around when you had your disconnect. I forget exactly where he found it, but I do remember saying that he got the Moon Pearl.
King's
it was
Tomb.
King's Tomb. King's Tomb. Yep.
Oh, there's the red mail.
The red mail.
There's
And
the cane of Samaria. There's a heart container. And there's the bow.
You know,
Fred making all the right decisions
stop
here.
what everybody thought about Hype Cave. The Hookshot Cave was the real Hype Cave of this seed.
And Fred is going to backdoor his way over and get it over to where the Tower of Hera is. Now, that gives Fred a lead at this point because Elminster never made it over to King's Tomb to check and see
Yeah.
the Moon Pearl in there. So Fred making a huge running advantage here, and Elminster twirling in a circle for a third time. Like, these deaths here are really adding up for Elminster, and these are deaths that Fred's not going to take because he's got red mail.
Right? And not only does he have red mail, but he has a full row of hearts.
So Elminster, who has not fake flippered to get to the boots, is at a huge disadvantage instead of Fred, who right now had fake flippered his way to the boots, which yielded him the Moon Pearl, which is allowing him to clean everything up here on the Death Mountain.
And it's funny in a sense because, and you know, I'll completely, you know, admit this, but as we were talking before the race started, you know, of these three runners, I said that, you know, if I were to pick a least favorite to win it, it was going to be Fred. And right now we find him in the lead by, you know, a decent margin.
That decent margin, all because he decided to clear out both things in the north end.
Mm-hmm.
He got the Lumberjack Cave, so he's got the half magic. He got Dash Cave, and he got the King's Tomb. And King's Tomb paying off really big for him here.
Yeah. And I'm being told by Cyclone GU in chat that Ice Palace is Crystal 5. So thank you, Cyclone, for that tidbit.
So that means the double-chested fairy stop here at the pyramid cannot yield our runners either the bombos or the fire rod. They could yield one of those two, just not both.
We still have some pedestal hype in chat, hoping that the pedestal might contain one of the two required medallions.
But you know also what else? Pedestal could have fire rod. It could have ice rod.
That's true.
It could have the medallions.
There's still hope, chat. There is still hope.
Now, it cannot have the flippers. And here's why. Because the boots that has yielded Fred the Moon Pearl is a sequence break that you need to have the flippers to get to.
Correct. Now we do see Darko heading over to Desert Palace now.
Yep, he grabbed the book after finishing off Agahnim, and now he knows he's got a Titan's Mitt coming soon. Now the difference here for Darko is that he's going to be able to finish off this palace now with the lantern in hand.
Now, do we know, did Darko ever even check the ledge?
He did, so he knows that this is the Titan's Mitt.
Okay.
Because if you remember, Darko tried to exhaust all possibilities before he went to visit Agahnim. And that's what allowed him to sequence break himself up to Death Mountain with the Power Glove. But the logic, apparently, and sequence breaking could not avoid an Agahnim fight. Now, he's going to be disappointed, Fred is, when he finds that this is only going to yield 10 arrows, but with the Moon Pearl in hand, he has the power to do just about everything he needs to do.
Yeah, he has mitts. He has Moon Pearl. We're probably going to see him head towards. We might see him head towards Dark Kakariko.
Yeah, I think that's the play he's making right now, is to check the Village of Outcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he can't finish Skull Woods. He doesn't have a fire rod for that. He could be leaving a chest behind in Thieves Town. But he's going to try to get everything he possibly can until he steps foot into a dungeon. He needs a hammer, and that he probably could comfortably go into Thieves Town.
And
obviously, a fire rod would make it so he can go into Skull
if
Woods.
Thieves Town is a crystal, I mean, why not do it?
Now, let's see what Darko finds in this upcoming second half of Desert Palace. Oh, we got the magic powder.
Yep. Nice quality of life item and potentially progression item.
Which Fred can mirror his way over once he's done with some of the stuff in this town. Now, the affectionately called Sea Cave yields a red rupee. Haven't we found enough of those this seed?
No, we haven't found quite nearly enough.
Fine, and Gembro. We'll just have to get these guys some more red rupees for them to find in the seed.
Yeah, there's obviously one here in the bombable hut. Oh, the hammer!
Wow! Ho, 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 ho.
We're going to see Fred head straight towards Steve's Town, I think. Yep.
Yeah, that's the right play right now. He can beat this dungeon. He can get everything in this.
And to be honest, Steve's Town is one of those dungeons where even if it's a pendant, if I'm looking for progression items, it's one that I don't mind going into because it's such a quick clear.
And by the way, if these guys need a sword upgrade, we know where there is one.
That's true. Like, worst case scenario, they don't find any of the sword upgrades, like the level 3 or level 4, they know they can at least get Master Sword on the Hylia Island.
Which obviously you need to get to the flippers at some point in time, and that's very interesting where the flippers might end up being. Once again, we're going to point this out. The flippers cannot be in the pedestal because the boots were needed to get to the Moon Pearl.
Right. And we find the flippers on Land Walls.
So, who just picked up the flippers?
Darko, and Elminster's about to find himself with the flippers as well, which actually for Elminster is huge. He might now go check the hobo.
Now, this is where the progression is going to merge together. But at this point in time, Fred has a huge advantage.
Oh, he certainly does.
And the only way this advantage is going to get cleared up at this point is if it turns out that Catfish has something.
It's true.
Like, Fred is going to try to route himself to a point, I would assume, that he picks up the flippers, or rather, he picks up Catfish. Or rather, no, let me just start that all over again. He's gonna route it so he goes to the desert as kind of later as possible. Maybe when he's going to go to the Bombos medallion, or maybe when he finds the flute.
Yeah. And we do, if I recall correctly, do we have a player with the flute right now?
No, I don't think we have found the flute yet.
I think I may be thinking about an earlier race.
They start to blend after 170.
Yeah.
Now, Darko is heading to Skull Woods.
Interesting choice.
Very interesting choice, considering the fact that he doesn't have what he needs to beat this dungeon.
I think he's just hoping that he can find something good here.
That is quite the thing here with Darko. He's banking or hoping and praying that this is going to yield him something big. There's the Quake medallion.
Yeah.
So where is Elminster going at this point? And Darko ending up going to the southeast. Is he going to play the trick here to grab the second key and then mirror? It doesn't look like he's going to do so, so pretty much a key for a key at this point.
20 rupees for Fred, nothing too crazy.
We find the big key pickup here for Darko, and now he's going to try to bomb jump his way to the other side. Now, the good thing about what Fred is doing here is that he's got the fighter sword.
Mm-hmm.
Going up against the only boss that having the fighter sword doesn't matter, because it's going to take 9 hits no matter what sword you have.
That is true. So this should be a very easy fight for Fred.
Now, Fred has the gigantic advantage of the fact that he's got the bow, he's got the hammer, he's got the cane of Samaria. 2 of those 3 turned up to be on Death Mountain. And I don't know when Darko or Elminster is going to make their way back up there.
Yeah, very nice fight there by Fred. I just saw in chat that Elminster apparently fake flippered with flippers.
Oh, that makes it 2 nights in a row that we've seen that trick, and he's about to pick up the boots and wondering why at 46 minutes he didn't get the boots. Now, Darko did not check the pedestal for us.
What a jerk.
He could have helped us out.
Darko may be heading to Catfish.
Yeah, that's where he's going.
Takes a bit of time to get there, but if Catfish has something worthwhile, you know, this could be huge for Darko.
I think that really at this point the only way for these 2 to catch up to Fred is if Catfish has something big. Now we know Elminster's going to Zora, but we know Zora has nothing good for him.
Mm-hmm.
And we find, oh, the butter sword.
Ooh.
In the digging game. They're not going to Lake Eiley Island today.
Butter.
And Catfish has. Oh, the flute!
Catfish with the flute. And Darko heading straight back to activate the flute. He is wasting no time.
Yeah, he wants to activate that flute. And at this point, we would have you to put up your swag ducks in chat and get ready for the Swag Duck National Anthem, except for In the Name of DT's not here with us. Something about being a swaggin' duck, yada yada yada. In the Name of DT knows the lyrics. I don't. I was here with him last night, but he did a whole lot of more dignity than I could.
And Elminster finding himself the Moon Pearl.
So Fred's going to be turning in the magic powder, see what that yields. So we knew the flute could not possibly be in the pedestal. Now Darko's about to pick up the bow, and he's about to pick up the cane of the cane of Samaria as well. Fred picking up a piece of heart for his troubles. Now, we do want to point out that, once again, Misery Mire is for a pendant. There's a possibility that Misery Mire is thus not required unless we need it for the pedestal, and therefore, what Darko has is a nice shiny flute that might never be used by either the rest of the players.
Right?
Elminster about to pick up the magic powder, and he will be probably about 15-20 seconds away from picking up the hammer. Fred is taking the purple chest with him. He's going to go ahead and check some other things.
He's hoping to find something good here.
The reminder that he can't take the chest with him. He's got to do a little bit of a dash. There's Elminster with the hammer pickup.
20 rupees.
And Darko is about to pick up the bow and the cane of Samaria out of this cave right here, as well as the red mail.
This is a very good cave for these runners.
I don't think we saw anything interesting inside the... Oh, there's the fire shield, or rather the fireball shield. I don't think we saw anything interesting in Thieves Town.
No, we did not.
So I like this routing here by Fred. He's going to get this purple chest, and then he's going to go check the Bombos tablet. At that point, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a run to the desert to finish that off. Oh, we see Darko heading in over to Misery Mire. And he checks this in case we need it. It's Bombos.
Yeah. Not a bad pickup. We never know which one will be required.
And so far, nothing in this Western Misery Mire that is forced. And a red rupee picked up because we haven't found enough rupees just yet. For those who are just tuning in right now, we are in the group and tiebreaker. This is for second place. One person moves on to the brackets, which will begin as soon as play comes to an end at the end of Sunday, April 30th. Is the deadline to get all the races in. Darko does not find anything good in the Northwest Desert.
He does not.
Fred's going to check the Dark World hype instead of heading on over to the desert. I forgot about this possibility.
Alright guys, hype cave.
So what do we have inside the Dark World hype cave now? There is the Tempered Sword. Add 10 arrows, the heart container, the piece of heart, and a bomb increase. Nothing good in Dark World hype today. The Tempered Sword would be nice if you didn't grab the Butter Sword out of the digging game.
So it looks like Darko's heading into Steve's town.
So it looks like Fred right now is actually thinking about heading to Catfish.
Yeah. And I guess there is one thing of slight note out of Steve's town that we didn't notice. There is a bottle there. It's never a bad thing to have another bottle, especially because it came loaded with a green potion.
You're correct. Darko about ready to pick up the hammer here out of the doorless hut. This is Steve's town. We're just living in it. So he's going to go ahead and check Catfish, then I believe, and Weasel puts a big point in chat. We're going to probably check the Zora after this to see if it's anything important, but he's going to find out that no, it's not, and there's the mirror right there for Fred.
Yep. And not a terrible play by Fred, since he hasn't been to Zora's yet. He's right there.
So Fred is missing one key aspect that we know that the other two have at this moment. That's the flippers. That's required for the Swamp Palace. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes his way to the desert after activating Swag Duck.
And the thing is, if it takes him a while to get the flippers, so be it. I mean, at this point for him, it's only required for one thing. And if those flippers are what puts him in go mode, as long as he doesn't waste a lot of time looking for the flippers, which I honestly doubt he will, it's no disadvantage to Fred.
Absolutely.
I don't think.
And the big thing with Fred is he would love to be in go mode before going into the Swamp Palace. That'd be less time having to search through there.
Right. So if he doesn't do Desert Palace until way later, it's whatever.
So I wouldn't be surprised if after he's done doing this, he does make a way over towards there. So for those of us who are hoping for some mayhem in this seed, in regards to this being a pedestal required, hope for the ice or the fire rod to be in there.
Yeah, that's pretty much your only choice now.
Now, we don't know what medallion is required to get into the Turtle Rock, but well, we do know that it won't be the Bombos because that's required to get into the Misery Mire. It could also very well be the Bombos because Ice Palace might have the fire rod inside. And we're being told that both are Bombos.
Both are Bombos.
And we got Elminster picking up the Butter Sword. Darko going through Thieves Town. Right now, though, Fred's lead is still pretty big. Darko's catching up a little bit, but Darko's still got some exploration to do that Fred has done. And the only way that Darko's catching up from what Fred has is if Darko starts skipping some of these steps, but why would you skip steps like missing out on the Dark World Hype Cave?
Exactly. Fred actually going for this heart container. Interesting.
I think he likes the safety here.
He already had 11 hearts and red mail, though. Is a 12th heart container there really that beneficial? Is the only thing I'm wondering.
Right, but I think once again he likes the safeties. Mm-hmm. And he's about to go into this final section of the Desert Palace, so he's about to pick up the flippers too. Which in that case, at that point, what would put both Darko and Fred in go mode are 3 items: the fire rod, the ice rod, and Bombos.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a fun scene to watch it unfold because at this point, like, those items could be anywhere. Pretty much anywhere, and they just have to hope to get lucky.
So we've got this tiebreaker here in Group N. 58 minutes into this seed here, Ninjembro. Who do you like so far in this race?
I mean, it's completely counter to what I said before the race started, but, you know, at this point, it's looking good for Fred.
He's also going to be going up against these lamb mullets with butter, which is something that both Elminster and Darko were unable to do because they had the fire sword at that point.
Right, so he's going to be able to kill lamb mullets way faster. 2 swings, that's all it takes. And
there you go.
Very nice fight by Fred.
Nice season finish right there. He picks up the flippers and he gets his 3rd crystal at 58.25. Which isn't too far behind what Darko and Elminster does, but Fred has more of this Dark World overworld searched. This is where Elminster and Darko's times are a little bit behind where Fred is at this moment. So the question once again turns out, where are the remaining 3 items? Now we know the Bombos cannot be in the pedestal. So as I mentioned this before, it's still possible the other 2 could.
Right. And it looks like we're going to see Fred head to Swamp Palace.
The other thing here comes into play is it could possibly end up in a pendant dungeon.
It's true.
Palace of Darkness has 5 possible items in it.
Which is really just unfortunate in a race situation. Like, Palace of Darkness just has so many items, and if it's not required, you just hate to go in there.
And don't forget that 5 items becomes 6 because it's Rashla, because it's the green pendant.
Right. And we do see Fred heading towards Swamp Palace.
I think the difference of this race is going to come down to somebody's going to have to take a risk and make a play where they think the fire rod or the fire rod and ice rod could be.
We see Elminster checking Bombo's tablet and getting 20 rupees.
And we're going to see Darko, I believe, make a play into this portal. He's going to probably check the Dark World Hype Cave and then make his way to the Swamp Palace. So right now, after this dungeon, Fred is going to be at a standstill as far as the seed is, unless we find something here in Swamp Palace. Because the last three remaining crystal dungeons, Ice Palace, Skull Woods, and Turtle Rock, are unwinnable at this point.
Yeah, now, what'll be interesting to see is... Alright, hear me out here. And this is for my, my buddies here in chat. What if Fire Rod is in Turtle Rock?
Ooh. And the only way to get to it is via that first chest, which could have a key in it.
Right. Now, they'll have to get Bombos somewhere. But if they get Fire Rod in Turtle Rock, and then they have to leave Turtle Rock to head to Ice Palace. And Ice Palace, they finish Ice Palace, we could still have Pedestal hype here for the Ice Rod.
I love the way you think, Nintendo. I think if that ever happens, though, I think these three runners will be looking at you with lasers in their eye if they watch this VOD.
Lasers in my eye or lasers in chat's eyes? Because, like I said, I was only throwing it out there because I know it's the kind of thing that chat wants.
Chat wants to see a pedestal seed. They want to see us both going bananas when they read the book and says, "I can chill your world with beams," or something like that. I forget what the Ice Rod sentence is, but it's something. We've had 3 seeds in this tournament that have required the pedestal. 2 of them were the Cane of Samaria. 1 was the Ice Rod.
What's a town without no ducks always looks at me with lasers in his eyes.
So far, we haven't really seen anything on Fred's end. We got pretty much synchronicity here between Darko and Elminster as far as the Swamp Palace is concerned.
We got sync hype.
The only thing that's different is one is in red and one is in blue.
Yeah.
We told Feasel that he had to correct. We told Feasel he had to correct the colors on the TV screen. Now Darko's going right straight for the boss. Okay, well we've got ourselves a difference. So far, Fred hasn't found anything interesting in this dungeon. So, let's just put this out here. Could this be where Darko took the lead? Now, he's still got plenty left to do, but what if this is a case where Fire Rod and Ice Rod are both here? Oh, wait, we still need Bombos. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario for Darko here is that he closed the gap a little bit. If he decides not to go towards the western side
Oh,
of the
Fire
dungeon.
Rod!
Ooh. And now we're going to see Darko head back upstairs. Fred's going to find himself with the Fire Rod.
And Darko getting hit with that little glitch that sends him back downstairs. Now the question is Fred gonna go back to this big chest?
Doesn't look like it at all. He's not worried about it.
What was in the big chest?
We don't know because Fred just got the big key.
Well, Darko just checked it. And it was the compass, so Darko now gives that lead back to Fred here. That he didn't realize he had for all of 5 seconds, or rather 15 seconds. So that means Fred's going to come across the last item here, I believe.
That is correct, and it's worth noting that in the Fred versus Darko, just in that discussion, Fred does have the butter sword, which means that he can fight this boss much quicker.
And down goes Arcus. And we find a piece of heart is the end result here, but with the fire rod in hand, that now makes Ice Palace and Skull Woods accessible but to all players. Don't forget, Darko searched the first half of Skull Woods,
and he did not find much. It'd be interesting to see where Fred heads first.
If I'm Fred, I'm heading to Skull Woods now.
I agree very much. I mean, it's a quicker clear. If you find things that you need, like, I hate going to Ice Palace if I'm not in go mode. Like, it's just not fun to go there. If I'm in go mode, whatever, you just bomb, jump, boom, done.
No, Mister's going to go check the big chest, and he's going to be very unhappy. Oh, no, he's thinking about it. Is he going to go? No, it's not. Is he going to go? No, he's not. Yes, he's going to go. Mister thought about it.
He thought about it for quite some time.
Fred in Skull Woods. Darko and Elminster and Swamp Palace. Which way are they going to go here? No, Darko's got a destiny against Argus, so too does Elminster. Elminster's going to be happy that he skipped up that big chest because he's going to find that Argus has the 6th and final item of this dungeon. And I know people
we did find Quake in Skullwoods, but Quake is not required at all.
You are correct. And Fred pulling off the bomb jump and finds that he gets a smaller key for his troubles. So for Fred to be on go mode, he needs the bombos and the ice rod. In fact, that's what we need for 2 of our 3 runners. Elminster still needs to get up to the hookshot cave to get to the bow and the cane of Samaria.
He'll get there before we know it.
I think he's going to get up there now. No, he's not. He's going to go to Sanctuary. Now, none of these runners have checked that cave to the north of the graveyard yet. Have we seen any of them make a run towards the Bumper Cave either?
No, we have not. We don't know what Bumper Cave has either.
Fred is about to check for us what we have at the pedestal. Elminster hasn't been to Catfish either. He doesn't have the flute. Fred's going to check the pedestal. Do we have a pedestal required? Silver arrows in the pedestal!
Silver arrows!
Say hello to Silverless Ganon, guys.
While it might not be a pedestal seed, I feel like chat should be somewhat happy with the fact that a very good item is hidden by the pedestal.
And if none of these other guys check the pedestal, Fred has an advantage knowing that the silvers are not going to be found anywhere else. Oh, wow! Clutch kill there!
Yeah, and somebody in chat just said it. Let me go back and find it here real quick. So it was Ran STR. Not required, but still nice. And I could not agree more.
Fred barely escaping the clutches of the Wallmaster. Now goes
Mango
up against
saying,
Magna.
Can't wait for Ganon to tell runners where the silvers are.
There's helmets in the light world too. And that's not going to help him.
Very nice kill on Mothula.
And Fred picking up the map. I don't think he got that last chest. Now Darko picking up the butter sword. He probably wish he had that for Argus, but Argus isn't that difficult in the two different layers of swords.
Not at all.
So now, Fred pulls away here. We now know that the pedestal has the silver arrows. All three of these runners know how to do silverless Ganon. They probably didn't want to have to do silverless Ganon on this seed, but, well, that's the way it is right now. So if I'm Fred, if I don't find what I'm looking for here in the Ice Palace, what's my next play?
Ooh, not too sure. Now I'm wondering if Elminster's going to check the pedestal. Now, if Fred does not find what he needs here,
I think almost a trip to POD would be a big thing. But also, don't forget, after this is done, the double-chested fairies open.
yeah, I mean POD. I'd probably check double-chested first.
Well, check double-chested on your way to Pod.
Right. Because if you find what you need, it's just such a sigh of relief to be in go mode, even if it's 6 crystals in.
Well, that is a nice find right there. The big key. Now, also don't forget these guys do have the butter sword, and Elminster's about to get that information about the silver arrows.
Yes, he is.
Do you fancy silver-tipped arrows? Yes, you do, but you ain't gonna go through Misery Mire
Just to
and
get
Palace of Darkness and the Eastern Palace to get them. And somebody just brought it up. Nobody has checked the Ether Medallion yet. The Ether Tablet.
Could be a required item.
Nobody's checked the Cane of Burner yet either.
Darko had a very, very nice Mothula fight.
The next half of this question here is, will Darko go and check the pedestal? And a beautiful bomb drop there by Fred. It looked like he was a little uncomfortable, but he was able to get in position. Oh, no!
Oh! And Darko, though, is going to go check pedestal so that all 3 runners know that silver arrows are there. And Fred, not even sweating the fact that he messed up the bomb jump, just gets it the second time, first try.
And Darko now, all 3 runners now have that information that the silvers to kill the beast lie in that pedestal. So now all 3 know that they're going to have to do a silverless Ganon coming up in about 40 or so minutes from now. And I don't think any of these runners are probably happy by finding out that they are forced to do a serverless Ganon or pretty much go through a hell of... How long does it take to go through those 3 dungeons? Probably a good 20 minutes altogether.
Oh yeah, easy.
Now, a nice key pickup there for Fred, and he's going to head on over to the right-hand side. Check these 3 chests that are coming up here. And Elminster's in Hookshot Cave. He found something good on the other side. They got the bombos. Yes. So Fred's going to have to get up there at some point in time. The bombos will get these guys into Turtle Rock. Now
So
here,
then at that point, it's only Ice Rod.
yes, an ice rod could be anywhere. For all we know, it could be in the very final sector of Ice Palace. So who knows what we're up to? We know Fred's got to get back up to that section though. And Fred getting a heart container, which is a good find, because it gets one of the item possibilities.
But unfortunately, it is not what he wants to see there.
What he wants to see is an ice rod or bombos. And right now, Elminster and Darko have that information. And he finds the red rupee in the big chest there for Fred, so he's going to go down to Cold Stare now. Don't forget, Elminster does have to get up to the Hookshot Cave at some point in time. If you're talking about making our runners cry, I think they were probably weeping a little bit inside when they found out that the silvers to kill the beast lie in the pedestal.
Yeah.
I believe Fred's words would be, "You son of a monkey."
100%. I mean, although I will say this: it's nice to know that, like ahead of time, that silverless will be required.
Now, here's the thing: Fred just found the map from the boss drop. That leaves 1 item left, if I'm counting correctly. If that's the case, he might be leaving the ice rod behind. So we don't know. I saw 2 of the 3 items. I haven't seen all 3. Elminster's about to pick up the flute. We're being told that Fred did get all 3. I missed what the 3rd item was, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Now Fred is heading back into the Dark World. He's going to go up to that north of the graveyard area and check Bumper Cave too. So the advantage that Darko and Elminster have with the bombos is going to go exhaust real soon.
Now it'll be interesting to see if Fred goes straight for Turtle Rock here, without the ice rod.
We saw that happen in the race against me. And there's Fred. He finds the bombos. Pterodactyl's no problem when you have the red mail. Now the big thing is, Fred had that happen against me, and it came out to be a swing and a miss. He knows he's up against 2 great racers. He probably will go to Pod first before he goes to Turtle Rock.
I mean, I think both are fine plays. And the reason I say that is that Turtle Rock may be a long dungeon to finish, but if you've already cleared a good portion of it, it's not that bad to get back through. Yeah, it takes time, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go there, hoping that the ice rod is in there, because Turtle Rock does not have an insignificant amount of chests. It has 5.
Plus the Mimic Cave, which makes 6.
Plus Mimic Cave. And now Palace of Darkness does have 5 as well.
But it also has 6. Because it's the green pendant.
Oh, because it is the green pendant. So, and I'm seeing people saying double-chested fairy.
Oh, that's right. Fred has access to it, and I think he's going to check that right now.
Yep, it looks like that's where he's headed.
Could this be where the ice rod turns up? If that is where the ice rod is, Fred will be on go mode, and he'll be heading up to Turtle Rock. Like, this is a very interesting seed for all possible reasons. Like, we have a pedestal required seed, but it's not a pedestal required seed because these guys know how to do serverless Ganon. Most beginners would consider this a pedestal required seed because they don't know how to get the serverless kill.
I mean, I personally was 2 runs deep into the tournament, and then I said, I should probably learn how to do silverless.
Same here. Like, I just pretty much just kept trying it and practicing it.
And then I also learned the Ice Palace bomb jump pretty late into the tournament.
Bug catching net. Ice
Rod!
Rod!
And the Ice
Fred's
Rod!
on go mode!
Fred is now in go mode officially. He is now going to beeline towards Turtle Rock. Great find by Fred. This is just turning out wonderfully for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a go mode on Fred's end.
Now the real question though, while he's on his way to Turtle Rock and not much is happening on his end, what is the likelihood that we see either of the other 2 runners head to the double-chested fairy?
That will make a big difference once Darko and Elminster come out of here. I mean, don't forget Elminster is further behind than you think.
Right.
Because he's going to have to go back into the Hookshot Cave at some point in time.
And the other thing you have to remember is that this is version 8, where there is a lot of bias. So if these 2 runners, if Darko and Elminster recognize that, okay, I could do everything up until go mode, but the last thing I did gave me double-chested fairy, I should go there.
Well, also, good use from Darko, remembering that he had the green potion against Coldster, because he never claimed the half magic. Good use of the bug catching net there on Fred's end to catch a fairy before going into Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah. All these runners just doing really good things with what they have.
You know the amazing thing is, at this point here, Ninja Bro?
What's that?
Group N, if this holds up and Fred's able to hang on to the advantage that he has, the 2 people who are going to advance to the brackets are 2 people who are unknowns entering the tournament.
Yeah. It's true.
How about that? I mean, Darko and Elminster had established rankings. Darko was the favorite in this group. Elminster wasn't that far behind. Fred and you were both unranked. So too was I.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see 2 unrankeds head into the bracket.
Well, you both have proven yourself, and Fred's definitely proving himself tonight.
I appreciate it, and I'm sure Fred appreciates it as well.
I mean, he has pretty much proved a crisp routing here is paid off for him, as Darko's about to get to the ice route in just a moment. He'll be on go mode, not that far behind Fred. Now, don't forget, this could also come down to a gamble, and you know what gamble that's going to be. We're talking left side, right side.
Oh. And we do find that Turtle Rock has the perfect layout here. We have 2 keys and a big key in the first 3 chests. Here for Fred.
And the other thing is Fred's going to have to work on his silverless kill. I mean, once again, we know that these guys are going to have to do a silverless Ganon because the silver arrows turned out to be in the pedestal.
Right.
Ooh, Darko getting trolled by the dead rock.
Yeah, that's going to cost him a little bit of time, and in a seed like this...
And now the cabbage is out to get him.
That little bit of time could mean everything.
And this is another thing, is that you've got to think your opponents are right behind you, if not ahead of you at this point.
Right? I mean, I'm not going to lie. In all of my races in this tournament, I've thought I'm behind. I have to be behind. And,
Same here.
And that drove me to just play the best that I could.
Same here. And bombs picked up here for Elminster. Now, if he stays up here on Death Mountain, he will be on go mode. Oh no, he never got the pyramid. He never got the pyramid bomb.
No, but he might be heading there soon. And it's interesting to note. Oh wait, yeah, the bow is still required because you need it in Ganon's tower. Never mind, I was to say bow might not be required, but that's just me not even knowing anything.
Yeah. It's that unknown factor in you.
Yep.
But in all honesty, you know, if we didn't have to deal with 4 mimics on that 3rd floor, this would be a boulder seed.
Yeah. Elminster's not going to find what he's looking for here.
But he still haven't found what he's looking for.
All Elminster has to do is check the double-chested fairy and go to Dark World Death Mountain.
Yep, the hookshot cave.
Yeah, 2 very... I mean, I don't want to say very obvious, because I feel like double-chested fairy is very easy to overlook. Alright, we do see him going to Death Mountain here, but... it's unfortunate because... with the information that we know, double-chested fairy just has so much in terms of getting these runners in go mode. Fred with an excellent run so far through Turtle Rock. And
another...
catching the fairy.
Yeah.
Just for that extra security. I don't blame him whatsoever.
He needs the security to help him out with the Ganon's tower and also the Ganon fight. The good thing is he's going to have half magic now. Don't forget, Darko's going to do this without half magic, so just think, if Torch Glitch doesn't go his way, he could be in trouble here as Fred's about to go up against Trinex.
Ooh, and Elminster is heading towards Turtle Rock.
And he has not picked up the Pedestal barrier yet.
He's just checking to see what it requires, maybe. Oh, he's just opening it?
Oh, he's opening it up, yeah. He's using this for the portal, and then he's going to check Hookshot Cave. So this is not really a bad thing. This is just him taking care of this now, and then he'll come back out over in just a moment.
And very nice Trinex kill by Fred.
And Fred takes down Trinex. Trinex will give him a heart container for his trouble. He's grabbing the 7th and final crystal.
And again, when
he is up in his tower first.
And when you're in go mode, that extra heart container, I mean, completely welcome. Just to have that extra security.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 possibilities coming up here in Ganon's tower. You've got the 21 chest plus the torch. That make 22. Pick a number between 1 and 22. Tell me what chest you think that the big key is going to be in tonight. Ninjembro. What number do you think it's in?
I'm going with I'm gonna go with 8.
Darko's going down to the basement too with no keys in hand. I guess he didn't go grab the one off the pokey.
So my guess is the double fire rod room.
I'm gonna say 6.
6. We'll see.
Red rupee and a piece of heart. Fred says no. We're gonna mirror.
And again, this is very unfortunate for Elminster.
And a key here in chest position number 3. Bob is going to be no longer with us this seed. And Darko, this would have to be probably an intentional death at this point.
Oh yeah.
But this is also a painful area for him. He does find a piece of heart. Right now, getting over to chest number 6, we find a red rupee. And some bombs. And Darko down to 2 chests. No key in hand. There is an arrow increase. And falls down again. And there's the key he's looking for.
He got lucky there.
He did. Chest number 8 is no on Fred's end. And then he goes into this room here, uses his sword. Darko is going up against Trinex, doesn't realize that he right now is about 3 minutes behind Fred. Number 9 has bombs. Where can this big key be?
It's obviously going to be in Randomizer room.
Now here's the thing, there was no key in those first 2 chests, so there's nothing that really entices Darko to go right side at the beginning, unless he wants to take a gamble that he could maybe pick up a key in the tile room. And we still haven't seen it. 13, no! We're gonna be going to 14 with the Bob chest.
Oh, we're going to see Bob?
No, because there was a key in the torch, so therefore Fred had to dash into it and say no. Sorry, Bob. And Fred bouncing his way to the other side of this long room. He's got his powder ready to knock out the fairy. The fairy says goodbye, plays down the bomb, and then we find 50 rupees as Fred gets ready to go up against the Armos Knights.
And again, no silver arrows, so this fight will be a little bit, a little bit more intricate.
Yeah, it'll be with lag because, well, ice floor and whatnot. And Darko goes and checks chest numbers 1 and 2.
And again, Elminster and Turtle Rock without
There's
Ice
the
Rock.
big key.
There's the big key.
So if you picked the big key to be in chest number 16, you win. And today the prize is our love and affection. As it always is, we'll try to see if we can't grab one of Fred's 16 hearts. So now off he goes against Mimics, and it's going to be execution for him. I know Fred's execution isn't the strongest of the 3 players here, but I don't see Darko coming back at this point. Oh, Darko with the 2 keys. He's going to take a gamble on right side.
Ooh. It's very unfortunate.
So Darko electing to go the right side here, and then decides against it, and then goes back upstairs.
What is he even doing? If you'll excuse me for a moment, I have to go AFK for about 1 minute.
And I'll count that 1 minute beginning right now as Fred makes his way towards the final stage of this 3rd floor, gets ready to access the gauntlet on the 4th floor. Remember, these guys are going to have to do Civilus Ganon. So we can't write anything in the books just yet. Torch glitch could go awry. There could be some issues with the runners in regards to Ganon. Ganon control them and knock them off the ledges. Fred's lead right now is pretty good right now, but Fred's nerves could get in the way here. He doesn't know how good he's got it right now. We've got people already counting for us, trying to see if Ninjembro lives up to his time. We did see the Mimic Cave. He had 50 rupees. Elminster's getting really nervous. This ice ride is not going to be there, but he doesn't know it. As Fred gets ready to finish off the gauntlet, we're probably going to see him turn this bunny beam into a fairy after getting beamed a couple of times to knock him on down to 4 hearts. And welcome to the Lammolas. The Lammolas here saying, how do you do, Fred? We know you authored a randomizer that rotated us in throughout Zelda 1. Don't you take us out of here. And also, one other thing to note when it comes to Elminster. Elminster's going to Eastern Palace. One thing to note.
I've returned.
Welcome back. We both had our leaves for a period of this stream. Elminster going into Eastern Palace. Now, Fred.
Ooh, Elminster and Eastern.
Yeah, he came up empty in Turtle Rock and now has made his way over to Eastern Palace.
And Fred again with a very nice lead here in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah. Like, once again, this is going to come down to Ganon execution for the good part here. Just how well these guys can get through the final stage. As Darko's probably about 50 seconds away from claiming the big key. And with 3 keys in hand, Fred has absolutely no reason to kill the mini Helmosaurs. He does misfire a bomb. It's not like he had 18 of them left. At the 137 mark, Ninjembro, how nervous are you about your opponents at this stage?
Oh, at 137, it's... When you're in a race environment like this, this is really where you start to get nervous.
And Fred knocking out the molder and gets ready to hookshot his way over to the chest. And Fred, oh, he picks up the bombos!
Wow!
Well, he bombed the chest the last time around, and he's just going to further insult the chest this time with bombos.
Wow, we have some DQs in chat. We have some very strong, some very strong just reactions here in chat. And
well,
the funny thing here is Fred, not even knowing that he has a significant lead, just wasting time there.
What if that was the difference between a win and a loss here? If he loses this run by 8 seconds because of that.
How would you feel?
I think he'd still feel pretty fine. I'm sure he probably would have a couple of words to say about it, but... Ooh, nice! Yeah. That's a triple!
Yeah. Yeah, you'd feel bad for a little bit, and then you'd realize, the whole tournament's all in fun.
Yeah, he's having fun with this. I mean, he's having fun with the Zelda 1 randomizer tournament. He's having fun with this tournament. He's also in the Final Fantasy 4 Paladin % tournament, too.
Oh, so wow.
He's got his hands full with a lot of tournaments going on.
And here I am in only this tournament right now.
And he's off to Ganon.
Does he have any potions at all, or is he going in here with half magic and only half of his magic bar?
Yeah, he's got no potions at this point. As Elminster now picks up the pyramid bomb, he's gonna wish he did this a whole lot sooner. And he forgets that he can warp to the light world and take this the easy route as opposed to taking this the long way around.
Darko getting through the worm fight there.
Yep, he's off to the 5th floor in the Wiz Ropes. And Fred getting 3/4 of the floor down, getting the final piece where it's going to tell him, hey, you found the silver arrows in the light world? Yeah, I found out where they are, but I'm not going to be able to get it. And Fred gets the torch glitch.
Very good for him.
I was nervous because of the way that floor is breaking up and Ganon right there next to the torch. So that's really good news. And of course, with the lamp, he's going to go that strat instead of going Fire Rod at this point.
And, I mean, with the information that you and I know, very smart on his part to do this.
And he's got 4 hits, I believe. Make it 5. I believe that is 6. I'm not 100% certain. That would be 6 if that's correct, if he's getting 2 at a time. And that should be 7. No, he didn't get it that time.
He did not get the 8th.
I don't think that counted either.
It is worth noting that Elminster is now in go mode. He's heading his way back up to Turtle Rock now to complete that dungeon.
Spins around. Gets himself a little bit closer. Almost around. He might have Ganon down really soon. Spins him around again. And that's it.
And there is
Fred
on Ganon.
Is
So
going
unless
to
something
advance.
bad happens here and he falls down multiple times, we will see Fred advance into the single elimination bracket.
And he is
And
in.
there it
He
is.
does advance in the tournament. And oh, Darko is going to quake the chest.
The Quake!
Darko, oh, he's going to go back down. He's doing it again.
He might have seen a dot
You may have
done.
seen the dot done by there, but my goodness.
I'm not in the IRC chat, so I don't know the timing of the events there, but he may have just seen the dot done there and double quaked.
He did, and Darko did acknowledge it, and Fred finishes first, a time of 1:41 and 53 as Darko goes up against Daga 2.
Very, very good race. Very well executed here by Fred. Let's hopefully we'll see Fred come in here for a post-race interview, as well as both of the other runners, Darko and Elminster, because this is very well executed by all 3 of these runners.
And so Fred is going to be in the brackets. One of the 42 players rather to make it to the bracket round at 2-2.
And now, technically 3-2.
So Fred,
Hello.
Hey, Fred.
I think that says enough.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Woo.
What a race by you, Fred. You know, both Rick and I have been here doing commentary for this very intense race. And it really came down to a little bit of luck and a little bit of execution.
A lot of luck.
And a lot of good
luck.
And a lot of good routing too.
Absolutely. Right now, you know, we have Darko in the Ganon fight right now, and Elminster just finishing up Turtle Rock.
Oh wow, it's a close one.
Yeah. And Darko saw your dot done and ended up quaking the validation chest twice.
Oh boy. Awesome.
So pretty much we'll go through this here. At what point in time did you think you might have a chance to move on to the brackets? Oh no, Darko didn't get the torch glitch.
Ooh.
Not good for him, because I don't even think he has a potion.
I think he still has the green goo. I'm not 100% certain, but I think he still has the green goo.
But yeah, Fred, at what point in that race did you think, you know, this is me, this is mine, I have this?
I didn't know if I had it. I mean, I thought I had a semi-chance when I bombed the ferry, and the 2 chests had the bug net and the ice rod, and I was like, maybe they didn't take the risk on that. And before then, it was just all praying, and I got lucky as heck.
And here comes Darko heading over. Almost done, and he's got him. Darko will knock down Ganon and should be the second place finisher, but Fred, you are going on to the brackets. Is that anything you ever thought possibly would happen, knowing that the 2 you were going up against in this run?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely. No chance that I thought I had a shot against them. I was hoping to put up a good fight. I was hoping to bombos the chest regardless of what happened. And, well, I got, as I said, it was just pretty darn amazingly lucky.
I mean, very good race here by all 3 of you guys. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit it, and you know, Rick can back me up here. When we went into this race, Rick and I were hanging out just in the waiting room, just talking about the race coming up, and you know, I did not have you as a favorite, Fred.
I didn't have myself as a favorite either. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, I did say that I think any of you 3 could take it. However, I did pick a favorite to win this. And you came out on top, and it's awesome. You know, I'm really happy for you, man.
Well, thank you. As I said, I'm still kind of shaking big time on this one.
So Darko finishes in second place. The official SRL time turned out to be 1:45:39. Darko will not be coming along to join us for the post-race interview, but does offer a comment, and it says, and I quote, "Persona 5 spoiler alert, money love."
It's unfortunate that we won't have Darko in here for a post-game interview, although if I remember correctly, he is in a very different time zone. Am I wrong? Or is he...
I don't remember exactly where he is, unfortunately, off the top of my head.
I think he may be England.
Well, good for him, then playing this race this late at night. He never mentioned that to us when we were trying to get the thing scheduled, so...
Yeah. He's very, very...
Nine Knackers in chat is saying, Fred proving all the haters wrong, don't let Ninjambro get you down. No, when I said that, I did not mean that in any way negative towards you, Fred.
I didn't take it in any way negative. I mean, I learned this game for the tournament pretty much, so there was no way I should have been a favorite.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I started playing Randomizer just after Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday was the first time I ever even found out about Randomizer, and I just started playing it after that, and have had a great time since.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be an understatement with what you've been able to do so far in it.
So we pointed this out as we're moving along here when you got to-go mode. The 2 people from Group Ben going into the brackets were 2 unknowns entering the tournament. How crazy is that?
It's nuts. I mean, that's the best way I can explain it. It's really nuts that we were able to, to get that happening here.
So, guess what, Fred? You've got 2 more Link to the Past randomizer races at the very least coming up.
Oh no.
When are you going to find time to fit that in on top of your Zelda 1 randomizer tournament, plus also the Final Fantasy IV Paladin percent that you're dealing with?
Well, fortunately, Paladin, regardless of what's going on, ends tomorrow. Those of you who are interested, the finals for the Paladin tournament are being held on RPG Limit Break. Sorry to the Speed Gaming folks for that plug that has unadvertised, but it's going to be tomorrow, and it'll be definitely a lot of fun. And regardless of which, after tomorrow's done, at least that tournament's over. And, well, Zelda Randomizer, I got 1 race in the Swiss rounds, and then there's going to be a little bit of a break, I think, before the elimination rounds start, and I'm already in the elimination rounds at least, so it's going to be, fortunately it'll die down a little bit here, but it's just going to be in some crazy time. I'm just going to, at this point, I'm playing on borrowed time, so I'll take anything I get.
Let me just chime in real quick. Elminster had a very, very nice Armors 2 fight for anybody who was watching. Got the nice kill where the last Armors Knight didn't even go red. He just timed the arrow shots perfectly in that fight.
And we get interesting things coming up here on the screen for Darko. Darko's having a little bit of fun here at the end of the stream.
He is, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean,
it's good to have a sense of humor at this point.
Absolutely, and that's honestly, like, I've been watching this tournament from the get-go. I've been having a lot of fun. I personally did not expect myself to be where I am right now in this tournament, and early in the tournament, I won my first match. I was like, great, that was a fluke. I'm just going to watch all these other matches because that's what I'm here for, to just watch everybody else have a really good time. And pretty much every runner I've seen so far, like, win or lose, has been just a really good sport throughout this entire thing. Both the runners and, the runners are also your commentators. I mean, you've had I don't think there's anybody that's done commentary that's not in this tournament. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's a couple, 3 of them who aren't, but yeah.
Okay.
Most of the people
It's pretty
are
rare. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you have a tournament here that's, the runners are just providing commentary for other runners. It's just a really good show of sportsmanship, and everybody's just having a really good time with it.
Agreed, and everyone's been having a lot of fun that I've been seeing, and in general, it's all positive. It's been an awesome tournament so far. So,
and yeah. I'm really excited. Again, the brackets, get solidified after Sunday evening when our last races are set to take place. So I'm really excited to see what happens from here on out.
And Darko's going to let us look at his statistics here with the wolfing dog on the screen. And so, at this point in time, I do want to ask, as we get ready to see Elminster head up to the final floor here of, or the final floors of Ganon's Tower. So, you saw the pedestal there, Fred.
Yes.
What was your exact reaction when you saw that the silver arrows turned out to be the pedestals?
I had one of 2 phrases. I don't remember which one I actually said, if I said son of a monkey or if I just said, oh, poop. But it was one of those 2. And I was like, okay. Fortunately, at that point, I had the butter sword, so at least I knew I had a chance at it because I've done silverless with that. But if I'd had anything less than butter at that point, I probably would have been in a complete and utter panic.
Well,
even then I was still pretty darn worried. But
well, thankfully all 3 of you ended up getting that same hint about the pedestal, and well, you guys didn't want to have to go through any misery mire today, so this is a good time as any to do your silverless skills.
Exactly. Just, as I said, got really lucky with the fights the way that they went, and was able to get lucky and pull it off.
By the way, I do love the fact that the dog is right in the middle of the Triforce.
And
awesome.
Right as you say that, oh, there it is. He just makes it really big.
Now let's see what Elminster does here with the validation chest.
Oh, yeah. What?
We've seen bombos, we've seen 2 quakes. What is Elminster gonna do? Oh, he's gonna quake it too.
Oh, the quake. I'm glad that I mean, it was really you guys that started this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just, just needed to do something on that race, and when I was playing against Rick, and the bomb needed to be dropped.
And I decided to follow suit, not even knowing what he had planned.
Yeah, it was a completely spontaneous thing there, and it was awesome.
Somebody just did a clip in chat. Fred disrespect validation chest.
Oh, that was a nice triple there by Elminster, by the way. And double triple for Elminster!
Oh, wait, but it wasn't.
No, he got two at the same time, so it was 5. Never mind.
But very, very nice fight there by Elminster.
Ooh, well, I thought he had the double triple. But
and either way, it looks like all 3 runners should finish with a sub 2 hour. Unless Elminster just really messes something up here, which, not to jinx it, knock on wood. I'd like to see all 3 runners finish with a sub 2.
Yep. I'd love to know the timing of this dog. Oh, no, there goes the dog. I was going to try to time it up to actually woof at the same time, but... Well, how about a nice breakfast created from your insides? Well, I guess, Fred, you're still going to do some more practicing of the Link to the Past.
Yep. Well, I'm going to be working on it, and hopefully, we'll see what we can do. As I said, at this point, I'm on borrowed time, so I'm just going to have fun with it.
I should probably start practicing some V8 seeds myself.
We'll have to see if we end up doing new logic seeds or not.
It's only if all remaining runners agree to it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough proposition with 42 runners. I keep wanting to say 44, but it's 42 runners. They all have to agree to it at that point, so we're probably going to stick with 8's logic for a little while.
No, and as I said, it'll be fun. It's definitely a very different logic with the 19 logic there. But as I said, it'll definitely be an interesting battle regardless of which.
Well, for you, Fred, it's likely at 2 and 2. You're going to probably have to play in the first round of the tournament. We're not sure who it's going to be, but it's probably going to be somebody who's either 3 and 1 in the early tournament or 2 and 2. So get yourself prepared. You might have to fight your way to play the number 1 seed.
Well, at some point I'm going to have to do that anyway if there's going to be any chance of me winning. So I guess I got to just keep getting better.
Well spoken.
Elminster does get the torch glitch. He's going Fire Rod stretch, which isn't bad except for his magic meter's getting down, but I think he's still got the green goo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he definitely has a potion if he's going with this strat.
Elminster's biggest problem in this seed turned out to be the deaths. He suffered, what, about 4 deaths this run?
Well, it's not even that, but he also didn't find ice. He went to Turtle Rock without the ice rod.
Well, at the point that he was doing that, I wouldn't be surprised if he, needed to have, if it was a gamble or nothing type scenario there for him. He thought it was getting late in the race and it had to be there if it was going to do anything.
And Elminster just finished.
Yep, he's going to finish with a final time of 1:57.35. Give it up for these 3 runners.
Yeah, everybody in chat, give it up for these 3 runners: Darko, Fcoughlin, and Elminster RTA. All 3 very great runners that we've seen in this race, and just a very, very good race.
Let's be honest here. We've got ourselves a seed here that trolled these guys a little bit, and they all finished it with a sub 2. Pretty good job, I would say.
And let's also note, Elminster was our one runner who went for fake flippers and died, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, he fake flippered and died before he could get to the Zora.
Ouch.
Well, it wasn't Zora, it was the
right, but
hobo.
before he got up. No, it wasn't the hobo that he died.
Well, he was going to Zora.
Yeah,
hobo had the boots.
Yeah, he ended up dying just before he got on the ledge that would have yielded him the trip to the Zora, which turned out not to be really all that required because there was no way to skip Agahnim.
Yeah, and let's see if we can get Elminster in here for interview as well.
He says, hang on a second, he's going to be joining us in just a moment.
Awesome.
But let's just put it this way. This seed here was very, very evil to these players. But Fred was the first one to solve the puzzle that the double-chested fairy had something nice inside. And with that, we welcome Elminster to the post-race interview.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Yeah, we can hear you. Your volume's a little low if you're able to turn it up just a little bit.
Hey, I'm at my friend's house and I'm on my phone, so...
Okay. So, really quickly, hear your thoughts about the seed?
It was pretty tough. It was, I felt like it was probably pretty easy to get stuck at the beginning. And I was pretty happy with how I played the beginning, and then after it opened up, I think I did well until it came time to find Ice Rod.
Yeah, Ice Rod was definitely one of the things that kind of set you behind a little bit, but we were actually just talking before you got here. One of the other big things that just unfortunately hurt you a little bit was when you died with fake flippers. Both of the other runners fake flippered, but went to the hobo and found the boots. Whereas I believe you were heading towards Zora when you fake flipper.
Yeah, and I would have found Power Glove, which might have actually, if I had successfully gotten it, it might have led me away from Desert.
Right. And actually, Rick, correct me if I'm wrong. One of our two runners, I believe it was Darko, actually got the gloves before they got Titan's mitts.
Yeah, it was Darko who did.
Yeah, he went to Zora, and that actually got him quite a bit of progression before he found the Titan's mitts.
Yeah, but then, as we were mentioning earlier, there was no way to skip Aga 1. He was definitely required this seed, but how about finding that the Pedestal had the silvers?
I was just like, oh, guess I'm not getting silvers.
Yeah, that's the reaction you just have to have at that point.
When I checked it, I knew I had probably a lot of items left until I was in go mode. So I thought there was probably a decent chance that there was something required there.
Yeah, a lot of people were, chat is always hoping for a pedestal required seed, but even Rick and I were thinking, well, maybe that's where the ice rod is.
And it turned out to be the double-chested fairy had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my decisions at the end probably looked a little weird. And when I found the cane going on to T-Rock, that kind of led me to T-Rock. I felt like I should take the risk, and it didn't pay off. And then what I was hoping to do afterwards was I was hoping that I could mirror outside Spiral Cave and leave the mirror spot there, and hopefully find Ice Rod and Eastern so that I wouldn't actually delete the mirror spot, and I would be able to save some progress through T-Rock.
Yeah, when we saw you heading into T-Rock, it was when we already knew that other runners were in go mode, so it was a little disheartening for the rest of us to just kind of see that, that unfortunately, you didn't know what the rest of us knew.
Yeah, a bit of dramatic irony there.
And so thus we come to the end of your run, and you decide to quake the validation chest just like Darko did. Fred ended up doing the bombos.
I did quake because it's faster.
Yeah, Fred bombos, Darko double quaked, and you quaked. Everybody had a little level of disrespect for the chest.
Well, so unfortunately, this means your tournament time comes to an end. Is there anybody you want to thank for your tournament experience, or any thoughts about it?
Thank you for my tournament experience. I want to thank everyone who had a hand in putting this on because it's been a lot of fun, and matches have been a lot of fun to watch. Everyone who's been commentating has been making it really, really nice to get into. It's something that I've been able to show people who don't know too much about A Link to the Past, and they can kind of follow along.
And now that you're out of the
also-
tournament, you're still going to keep up with the 100% runs, correct?
We'll see. I might pick up another category. But I also want to thank everyone who supports me in chat during these races. It's just really nice that everyone comes out and supports me, and it means a lot to me. So, thanks everyone.
All right, guys. Those of you who are Elminster subs, get your pairs into the chat here. And those who don't, just do the :pair, and put those pairs in chat too. Let's give it up for Elminster as well as Fcoughlin and Darko as well. All right, I think that's going to do it here. We've come to a conclusion with this Group N tiebreaker race on this Group N get-together with all 5 of us taking part in this. Fred moves on to the brackets.
Yeah.
And Timbro, what's your thoughts heading into the brackets?
I mean, I'm ready for whatever. Like, you know, I don't know who my first opponent's going to be. Whoever it is, I'm just going to take it like any other opponent I've had so far. In which I just... I basically have played all my matches as if I'm just playing a practice seed. You know, I'm not even racing somebody. I'm just doing the best that I can.
I actually think that's a pretty good way of putting it. With that, this is going to end our stuff here at Speed Gaming. There is a conclusion of another race that's going on over at Speed Gaming 2. That's between ACM LM and Janazil 6. And not to spoil it, but there should be really no surprise. ACM LM has already finished that seed. So Janazil is just finishing up that seed right now. We've got 3 races tomorrow.
Yeah.
All 3 of them are not going to be on this channel because there's something else going on here, and I'll plug the schedule coming up for this channel in just a moment. Do you have the 3 games that are coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, looks like we don't have the channel just yet, but tomorrow we have Iggy versus Stray Varus at 2 p.m. No commentary set for that one just yet. We have Vanki versus Ninnies at 4 with Heel and Sakura as your commentators. And we have Zamex42 and Fuzda also at 4, with Alucard and Wild Anaconda as your commentators. Now, all those times I said are Eastern Standard.
And 2 of those races are going to end up here on, rather, it's going to head on over on Speed Gaming 2. One of the 2 o'clock, rather, the 2 o'clock and one of the 4 o'clocks are going to end up there. We'll go over what's coming up here on Speed Gaming tomorrow. But you want to plug the races coming up on Sunday because it's a triple header of triple.
Oh yeah,
tiebreakers.
Sunday is an amazing day. None of you guys want to miss it. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you have Kruya, Dodecahedron, and Zero Rush, who's a good friend of mine, at 1 p.m. Eastern on Speed Gaming. Right now, it is just Sakura doing commentary, but of course, I'm sure there will be another commentator. That is the Group Q 3-way tiebreaker. At 5 p.m., you have Carcat / MMX base, Yogi Damunk, and Mysticum at 5 p.m. on Speed Gaming 2. That is the Group U 3-way. And at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, you have Zarbi, Triple Z, and Rubel for a 3-way tiebreaker right here on Speed Gaming with OK Guy and Willard J as your commentators. So on Sunday, you have a very full day of races. I mean, it's only 3 races, but it's 3 very important races in terms of progression in this tournament. All 3 races have something huge on the line for all the racers involved.
Yep, and three-way tiebreakers. They should be a lot of fun. This one was a lot of fun. The one we had last Sunday with the Unos Myria and Dan was very, very interesting as well. So be sure to set your calendars for that. That's Sunday afternoon starting at 1 o'clock on Speed Gaming, as well as Speed Gaming 2. Coming up tomorrow here on Speed Gaming, we've got the Sonic Advance 2 battle from 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock, and then from 5 o'clock on, we have Ori and the Blind Forest. That's once again Eastern Daylight Time Sonic Advance 2 battle at 1 o'clock, and 5 o'clock is Ori and the Blind Forest. With that, time for us to get on out of here. We're done for the evening, so thank you for joining us for the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament here on Speed Gaming. For Faisal, who's been handling the controls behind us and making sure that we don't say anything too bad. For all the help that we've had behind the scenes with our trackers and whatnot, and for the racers, Fcoughlin, as well as Darko, and also Elminster. I'm Ed Rick. You want to get us on out of here in Gembro?
Yeah, as I was saying, just make sure you give Darko, Fcoughlin, and Elminster a follow. They put on a very good show tonight, and I'm sure you can catch them streaming various times. All three great runners, all three great streamers. You should watch them whenever you get the chance.
Sonic Adventure 2 battle, not Sonic Advance. Sorry. I don't play those kind of Sonic games. I'm out of the loop with those. Good night, everyone.
And good night. Thanks for commentating with me tonight, Rick.
It was a lot of fun.
All right. See you all later.